Howdy fellas, this is B.Jr. from B.Jr.'s Movie Cave on the Endurance Productions YouTube channel. I want to do a little personal style video tonight, just a video just for me. Actually, it's going to be a two-parter. On the genre of films, I'm just going to recommend some videos that I like tonight. I'm not going to review them or anything like that. I'm just going to tell you the ones that I like within this genre, and it is the genre of westerns. That's right, a lot of people shudder to like westerns. You watch westerns? Yes, I said westerns, guys. I do have a little budding collection of westerns. They're not just any old western. They always fall under two subcategories for me. Ones that have Clint Eastwood in them, and other ones that don't, basically, that I like and could watch over and over again. I don't have a whole lot of John Wayne westerns. I do have some that are recorded in the living room on old tapes and stuff, but these are just in my DVD and or Blu-ray collection. I'm going to dive right in today, and then I'm going to do the non-Clint Eastwood recommendations first video, and then the second one I'll pull out the old the vault over there of Clint Eastwood westerns, because he's done a ton of them, and I'll tell you my personal favorites and ones I can recommend that you'll have a good time watching. I'm going to kind of go through these and just kind of let you know, and there again, these aren't screeners or anything like that. This is just kind of a video for me, just something I wanted to talk about. And I've been watching a lot of westerns here lately, usually post-Halloween. I'm kind of Christmas movied out. We watched all the favorites for Christmas, so thought I would just do something different, and just had a crappy day at work, so I need to do something just for me. First one I'm going to pull out of the old collection. This is a recent pickup. True Grit, the new True Grit with Jeff Bridges and Matt Damon and Josh Brolin. I can highly recommend this movie, mainly because I like this one just about as good, if not more, than the original True Grit with John Wayne. I just like the characters in this movie, and the Coen brothers, they always turn out a good product, usually. And this is one of their better ones, I thought. And it's got a lot of good special features on it. True Grit, I really enjoy that one. This is a what's going to become a classic over the years, if it hasn't become one already. Tombstone, with Val Kilmer and Kurt Russell. It's one of my favorite all-time. We had this at the movie theaters when I worked there in high school, and it stayed forever. What's really interesting is watch the behind the scenes on this movie. If you got this 2-discer or you got one that's a special edition, it really, and listen to the commentary on this one too. I believe you'll find out little tidbits. This movie had a lot of trouble being produced, and Kurt Russell, from what I remember, did a lot of behind the scenes directing and had to get a director in there and basically pulled this project out of the gutter. So it could have been a kind of a make it or break it project. So I didn't know all that happened, but this is, of course, the director's cut of the film. It's got about 3 or 4 extra scenes in it that kind of flesh out the main characters a little bit. But either way, theatrical or director's cut, Tombstone it's just classic. You gotta have it. Sergio Leone's Once Upon a Time in the West. A lot of people like this movie, and there's a few people who think it's too long. It's just long and drawn out, and I can see that because it's over 3 hours long. It's 3 hours and 5 minutes long, so you have to devote some butt in the seat time to watch this one. I don't know. I just think it's a really well made movie. It's the quintessential spaghetti western masterpiece kind of film. It's probably second only to Good, Bad, and the Ugly, in my opinion, and in terms of Sergio Leone westerns, but I can highly recommend that one. Here's a newer one from the 90s that I can recommend that it's not going to be to everybody's taste. Let me just say that. It's not your typical western. It's a black and white western called Dead Man. This is a recent acquisition from the local Kmart bargain bin. Jim Jarmusch's movie with good old Johnny Depp in the lead role. I actually like Johnny Depp in this. He plays a really good understated part in this movie. It's just all the characters in this movie, the quirky, the dark comedy characters I really enjoyed in this film. I would pick this one up, at least rent that one, if not give it a viewing first. Here is a little known Sam Raimi western. It's the only western he's done to my knowledge. The Quick and the Dead with Sharon Stone, Gene Hackman, and Leonardo DiCaprio. Lance Henriksen's in this one. Russell Crowe in an early role before pre-Gladiator Russell Crowe. There's tons of great characters in this one. Pat Hingle, I mean, all kinds. Gary Sinise shows up in flashbacks. Tons of name actors in this movie. I think it made some bank in its day, but it's just an interesting Western. It's about a quick draw contest that takes place in this little town, and it's got your usual Sam Raimi wild camera work and all that kind of stuff. Really enjoy that one. 310 to Yuma remake, or just 310 to Yuma, the new one. Russell Crowe and Christian Bale. Just enjoyed it. Good action in this movie, good story. Really, really enjoyed that one. Here's one that's kind of a Camps Divided. I like the atmosphere of this one. It's not the greatest Western ever. I can definitely say that. Especially, I don't. This is the extended cut of the film. I actually recommend the theatrical version of this one. It is The Missing with Tommy Lee Jones and what's her name? Kate Blanchett. Decent atmospheric one. It's a Ron Howard film. Some people like it, some people don't. I say this is the extended cut. I got a $3 purchase on this one at the Mighty Big Lots store, so it was cheap and I can look around that. But I think the theatrical is a little bit tighter of a film. I'd probably go for that if you're going to buy it. Open Range, Kevin Costner joint with good supporting role from good old Robert Duvall, and Annette Bening shows up in this one. Good finale to the film, good shootout, good characterizations, good rich characters in this one. Another quintessential modern return to the Western, sort of like Tombstone. It was like a return to the Western for its time frame. Really enjoyed this one. Good landscapes in that one too. It's shot very well. Very good shot movie. I'll just say it that way. Here's one I watched just last night. It is a Western, but it's set in Australia. Just a different kind of film. Quigley Down Under with Tom Selleck. Plays the Old West sharpshooter from Wyoming that goes to Australia under false pretenses from Alan Rickman, who shows up as a baddie in this movie. He thinks he's down there to just do some wild dog removal from his land via sharpshooting, but he's down there to actually, under false pretenses, to shoot indigenous tribe people off the land of Alan Rickman. They have a falling out once he gets there, and it's just about him trying to stay alive from Alan Rickman's bad guys, and then taking revenge on them and all this stuff in the outback of Australia. Just a good little Western. I mean, it's nothing fancy, from the early 90s, I believe 1990. I really enjoy that film. Tom Selleck plays a good part in that film. This is a newer one that I like, kind of in the vein of 310 to Yuma. Just kind of a neat little Western. Pardon me. Appaloosa, directed by Ed Harris, starring Ed Harris and Viggo Mortensen. Jeremy Irons, Renee Zellweger shows up in a supporting role. The only con in this movie, I like her in other stuff, Renee Zellweger. I don't know what it is about her, the way she looks in this film, or her character just annoys me. I don't know why, but she's very annoying to me. But I can overlook that. Good matter of fact, good characters in this one. Not an over-the-top action movie or anything like that, but it's just a good little Western. Really enjoyed it. Here's some from my youth that I've just never been able to shake. I really enjoy these films. I go back to them about once a year when I get the Western bug. Young Guns and Young Guns 2. Never made a Young Guns 3 because it just never... it was a story of Billy the Kid. They kind of summed it up in this one, so... I don't know, kind of a modern day 80s and early 90s take on the lore of Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. A lot of variances on the true story of Billy the Kid. Do your research and then watch these movies, because a lot of the stuff does happen, and some of the characters that did happen in or around Billy the Kid's life show up in these movies, but they're in the wrong timeline or place, and just kind of, it's a lot of Hollywoodisms in these two, so, but they're enjoyable. This one in a late 80s sort of way. This movie's very violent, very bloody. A lot of people don't remember that, but there are some, smack you across the face violence in both of these movies. Mainly the first one. They toned it down in Young Guns 2. I believe it's actually PG-13 and amped up the comedy a little bit more in this one. But the first one especially, it's kind of like a mob flick in the Old West, I thought, with the heartthrobs of the day. Here's another classic, kind of in the vein of Once Upon a Time in the West. And it's the Sam Peckinpah classic, Wild Bunch. I'd say at least rent this one at least once. Good shootouts. It is a Western, but it takes place in or around the time frame of right pre-World War I, 1910, 1911. It's a story of a bunch of washed up old west guys who are kind of going for a last hurrah, try to take on a Mexican general and his little band of an army, and I don't know, a lot of good shootouts, a lot of good slow motions, now classic Sam Peckinpah style. Really enjoy that one. Don't enjoy everything Sam Peckinpah ever did, but I do like some of the things he did. The Getaway and some other movies that he made, and Straw Dogs. Here's a couple of spaghetti westerns. This is a recent pickup that I did the Just Buy It video on, mainly because I was really impressed by it. It's not the best spaghetti western out there, but it's got the reputation as possibly being the last of its kind. I don't know if there's any truth to it, but the late 70s, I think it's 1977, Mania, A Man Called Blade. Really enjoyed this film. Picked it up for cheap off Amazon, and it's a Blue Underground release. I thought, shoot, the next one I'm going to talk about is good. This one's got to be good too, and I was really impressed. It's got a neat little quirky soundtrack to it, and the lyrics to the soundtrack of this movie is just hilarious. I mean, it just goes on. There's only like two main lines of dialogue for the lyrics and the soundtrack, but they play it over and over and over again. Very violent, very slap you across the face action. Just good little spaghetti western. Really enjoyed it. Here's another one along the same lines. You have to forgive my ghetto cover. I bought this one from a Blockbuster closing, and I had to whip out some quick cover art so I know what it was on the shelf. It is the Blue Underground disc of Django. It's spelled with a D, but it's pronounced Django. Again, another great spaghetti western starring none other than Franco Nero. I'm kind of a back burner Franco Nero fan. I'll watch just about anything that guy's ever made. I don't like everything the guy's ever made, but I like a bunch of them. He's done giallo films, he's done westerns, he's done action films. He's done it all. He's an Italian actor that I really respect in that regard, his acting ability. This film's directed by Sergio Corbucci. Very excellent, just excellent film, and late 60s movie. I think 1967, 68, kind of around the era of Good, Bad, and the Ugly. It's kind of Corbucci's answer to Leone's spaghetti westerns, The Man with No Name trilogy, and all that. Django's just awesome. I mean, he walks into town dragging a casket behind him. I'm not going to give it away if you haven't seen it, but there's something special in the casket that he uses against his enemies. Just say it that way. Good fist fights in it. Can't recommend it enough. Go for the Blue Underground disc on that one because it's the uncut version of the film, and or the Blu-ray. I heard the Blu-ray is pretty good of it too. Guys, that's my non-Clint Eastwood stack here of recommendations in the Western genre. Do a video response if you guys want to. Let me know your comments, questions, or concerns. Let me know your list of non-Clint Eastwood or any Western for that matter. It can have Clint Eastwood in it. I don't care. Any Western favorites that you guys like. I'm a budding spaghetti western hound. So if you guys know some spaghetti westerns that weren't in my list today and you can recommend them, please don't hesitate to leave the title below. I'd love to know what you guys like and love to experience it for myself. So I'm going to get out of here for today, and I'll catch you next time. Rock on, dudes.